Been going?
Oh man, just busy, busy. 2021 just hit the ground running.
Yeah, you guys have been
Yeah,
already just digging into the live stream shows. I feel like you're always up to something.
yeah, always. You're right. You're right.
That's
So
awesome, man.
Goldfinger put out a new record last year at the end of the year.
Hmm.
People really seemed to enjoy that,
Yeah,
so that was fun. And
absolutely.
uh, and and Mxpx, we've been doing between this world and the next. It's our sort of kind of unique version of what we're playing live on the internet.
Yeah,
But it's been super fun. We're doing one tomorrow, actually.
there you
Uh,
go.
I mean, yeah, tomorrow night.
That's
Going
perfect.
for it. So every set is different every time we do it, and it's so much fun. It's interactive. You can get in the chat room, talk your shit, whatever it is you need to do.
Are you guys
Requests.
are you guys interactive with the chat the whole time?
We are, of course, we're playing songs,
Yeah,
so we ignore the chat sometimes. But in between songs, we like to pick out a few things. If
yeah.
somebody's saying something weird about, Tom or Yuri, or
They're fucking out of here.
we like we like to comment on it. Now, what I mean is like just something like bring up some random subject, like we were
Yeah,
talking about Die Hard being a Christmas movie because we did our last show was right around Christmas,
yeah.
and so we just got onto these weird subjects. But it's fun because the chat room can actually steer our conversation, and which it probably does for this, your Twitch here.
It absolutely does. It's funny. Someone just asked, like, can Mike see our chat? He cannot, unless I mean, obviously you can go to Twitch and look at the chat too. But as if people have questions or comments or anything like that, I'll bring them up as we're talking. But so feel free in the chat if you do have questions for Mike or want to tell him anything, you let me know, and I'll be the relay man. I'll be the relay man. Uh, I love when people. Someone just stated. I love when just people do factual statements. Yes, Mike from MXPX. I love just factual chat statements. That's my
Yeah,
favorite.
just that.
That's awesome. Yeah, we've done one well two streaming events. It was one event, but it was two different nights. And that was the one thing we didn't take into account, like was the chat. So we didn't have that set up at all. But we also it was like a we did like a full massive production for both the shows, and I'm liking more and more the kind of, I mean, I like both, but I'm liking more and more the kind of intimacy of like smaller vibe, kind of more intimate like room environment where you're interacting with the chat. It's more of like a cohesive like interactive thing. I think that's really cool too. We've been talking about kind of doing something similar, you know what I mean, like to what you guys are doing as well, to kind of just change up the vibe of the stream.
Yeah, man, it feels really good to do something new, something
Hmm.
you're playing. So it's like that's not new necessarily, but you're talking to this camera, but you almost there's people watching you. There's like
Yeah.
tons of people in their living rooms at their jobs when they probably shouldn't be,
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that. Probably people watching this thing right now are at their jobs, some of them. So I
Exactly.
mean, it's a different mindset. You're not thinking there's a, you know, 2,000 people out there jumping up and down or whatever,
Yeah.
but like it's more personal. It's almost more like I'm talking to a few people that I can sort of imagine.
Yeah.
But of course that there's way more people out there. So it is a real performance. It's a
You
real
can
performance
strangely
when we're
feel
doing it.
them there. I at least could like you can strangely feel the eyeballs, you know? Like you feel
Yeah.
that thing, and it's funny like our management after the fact was like screenshotting the chat and like showing us like comments and this and that, and then like obviously we can watch the feed later, but it was like in our heads, I felt like it was like, oh, you could feel people watching. You know what I mean? Like if there
Mm.
was a strange realness to it. I think it's awesome. I love the whole live stream thing. I think it's cool that bands are doing it in so many different ways. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's cool for the audience too to see a band in different atmospheres. Like people, the way we did our live streams, it was like, okay, it's the first one we've done. Obviously, we went through a big member kind of shift, and it was like, let's put on the biggest, most like in your face Atreyu show that anyone's ever seen, that we've ever done. That was like the first look out. But then it's like now it's like, maybe you do something acoustic, maybe you do like deep cuts, and like the whole like
Mhm.
variation is fun. I think it's fun for fans too. I've been watching them myself. You know what I mean? Like I think they're entertaining as well. definitely awesome.
Yeah, same. I've been watching a bunch of different live streams, and I like that people are trying stuff, and and usually they get better as they go. You just
Yeah.
kind of figure out what works for you as a band, as performers, and see what your audience is digging. But giving them something they're not used to is can be a great thing as long as you do it well.
Exactly.
So we've been enjoying the deep cuts. Like
Yeah.
all our sets, we're putting some really deep cuts. Some that we've never even played live. You know, you put out a lot of records after a while, and there's gonna be some songs you just don't get to, and
That you
those are the
really wish you
songs.
could have paid attention to, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We
some of them you discover, and you're like, why didn't we do this like 10 years ago?
yeah,
Like,
this song is rad. It's just the way the record industry works is where you get those highlights, and then there's so many just like little pieces of gold that just never get see the light of day, and you're like, damn it. We did the same thing where we did like a sort of like a greatest hits for the first one, and then we did one of our albums front to back, and there was like 5 songs on the record that we'd never played before. And we're like, what have we been doing? Like, why did we never
yeah.
play these songs? Same thing. Someone in my chat just said, tell you that Tommy Rat says hi. The guy's on the
Oh, what
phone with
up,
him
Tommy
right
Rat?
now. That's awesome.
Yeah, Tommy Rat, we go way back. He was our sound guy forever,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
manager. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Do you,
awesome.
do you know Tommy at all? You don't
I
know
don't.
Tommy.
I don't think I do. No.
One of the Rat Sound guys.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah.
Rat Sound
Classic.
was sort of like, Black Flag. Kind of got their start with Black Flag, but now they do Rage
Everything.
Against the Machine. That they had that whole tour, and Pearl Jam and things like that. But like they're hurting just as much as artists. Some artists, but
Well, yeah.
companies like Rat Sound, man, it's like they had these huge tours. That Rage Against the Machine tour was, oh my
Insane.
gosh,
Yeah.
I feel bad for everybody that bought tickets
I mean,
and
dude,
spent like two months paycheck on a ticket, and then it's never gonna happen.
straight up, we were saying that like like there's like all these memes and shit that's funny, and I've talked to the dudes in the band too, where it's like the most cruel joke of 2020 was bringing back my chem and then taking them away again.
Yeah,
Was like, oh
another
my god,
example.
they're
Yeah,
back. We got to see one show. The tour sold out worldwide. Oh crap, we have to wait. It's like cool. Yeah. It's the same exact thing that happened with Rage.
yeah, yeah.
Giveth and taketh away.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's
But
crazy, man.
there will be good things.
There will be
Really,
lots of
I
good
mean,
things.
another example that Green Day tour, Green Day and Fall Out Boy, was it, or
The Green Day, Fall Out Boy, and the Interrupters, I think it was.
I think it was Weezer.
Weezer too, yeah. Or it was, I think the Interrupters was maybe opening, but yeah, that's massive.
They're opening.
Yeah, like
A lot of big tours.
that has to happen again. You have to remake
Yeah,
a stadium tour.
if it can't, I guess. I mean, I guess it might. If people are still wanting it. I mean, have you heard about like somebody was asking me just the other day about concerts in Oculus? So you put on the
Yeah,
goggles, and I think I might have talked about it on my podcast, but I'm not sure. But have you ever thought about doing something like that? There's Fortnite. It's a video game that Travis Scott did a concert
show,
in,
yeah.
which as
It
a
could
rapper,
be.
I think you kind of get away with it. As a band, man, that'd be a lot going on.
It'd be a lot going on, and there's so many like moving parts, I think, to make it feel like real. Like I feel like there's so many ways you could spin it. Like obviously, if you were to do like an in-game kind of like Oculus thing, and you could like make an avatar of yourself that attends the show, and then you could like
Mhm.
maybe your ticket that you buy puts you in a certain area of the crowd to make it more interactive. Maybe like you could buy front row seats. You know what I mean? And there's the
Right, right.
barricade and the fake security guards in front of you. You know what I mean? Like you just never like you never know. I would try anything. I think all this stuff is so much fun. It's
There's,
opening a
the,
door to just new things.
yeah.
Like I think as a band, I would like to do live streams even when touring's back, just for those occasions
Mhm.
where you can't do everything. Like, oh, we're doing an album release show. The record came out. We're playing it front to back, and we're doing this big whatever. Like, let's do it worldwide so that the whole world can see it. You know what I mean? Why only do that in LA or only do that in New York? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like special occasion shows. Like you can do bigger, better things and offer it to the whole world. You know?
absolutely.
I
So
think it's
have
cool.
you seen that movie Ready Player One?
No, I haven't.
It's basically, you don't really have to see it, but like it's a great movie for one, but
I love,
it's based
you don't
in
have to see it.
you don't have to see it, but it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Well, it's very much sci-fi. It takes place kind of in the future, but we're edging into this with virtual reality.
Mhm.
But the reason why I brought it up was you put on these goggles, and the guy puts on this haptic suit where when you get punched in virtual reality, you actually feel that in your suit.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that companies are working on developing something like that. And then there's also a track where you're actually like running
Oh
on
wow.
a treadmill that can go any way, but you don't actually leave this space, right?
Yeah.
So it's really, it's cool. The movie's decent, and cool,
Yeah.
but just the world that they portray
Could you
is
imagine like digital circle pit? Bunch of people on their treadmills and Oculuses at home, just like getting
hit.
like pushed and
hit.
feeling
Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
Here's the thing: when all that exists, there's a giant percentage of people that are like, I don't need to leave the house anymore. I
Yeah.
have, I can feel everything. Like I'm good. I got punched in the pit and I felt it. I'm good. I
See,
needed
when that
that.
happens, yeah, that's gonna be cool, like
Yeah.
for anybody, I think. But there's a
Absolutely.
there's another movie called Surrogate,
Uh-huh.
Surrogate, um, and it's a very similar type movie where it's with Bruce Willis,
Yeah.
and I strongly recommend this movie. It's really good, well done if you like sci-fi. But basically, society lives in their trailers, in their huts, wherever they are,
Yeah.
sitting in a chair, and then they put on their goggles and then they go out and do their thing. So you don't really have to leave the house
Yeah.
except for like obviously like really basic amenities, which probably by then in the future gets delivered like it does
Deliverable.
now.
Yeah.
We're
Or
living
in the
in the
now. Yeah.
future in the now.
Last
So
night I
yeah,
postmated coffee. I had already been out all day. I ran my errands. I got home and I was like, forgot coffee. Postmated a bag of coffee beans. Stupid.
once you get in the habit of anything like that, it's easier and easier to do it.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
yeah,
I think it's all
same.
doable. I think it's cool. I think it's definitely
Yeah.
cool. It's funny because when this all started, I did a thing where kind of towards the beginning of the pandemic called Life. It was like I just called it Life from My Living Room. At the time, I thought that was clever. Now there's 9 million Life from My Living Rooms. But I did essentially a whole set of reimagined Atreyu songs. So I like did
Okay.
like kind of like electronic or acoustic, just like reimagined songs, and then I did like a couple covers. I did like a Misfits cover and a Foo Fighters cover, and then I recorded all of the songs. I released like a limited vinyl of the actual tracks, and then I just did like a thing in my living room. But I had like a dude come over and he did like projection on my wall and like had good audio and all this stuff. The funny part about it was I had some sort of like crazy acid reflux or something the morning of, and my voice was toast. Like there was like a couple note chunk in my range that just would go full prepubescent squeak. Like it would just wouldn't make a
Whoa.
note, it would just squeak. So my first experience with like a live stream anything was in my head a disaster. But at the same time, people in the chat were like, "Oh, dude, like keep going, man. You're killing it. We're enjoying this. We're loving it, man. This is cool." Like it was like endearing and real, but like to go from like I love the fact they go from that, then do a big show, to do this show, then whatever. Like the whole thing is cool. The whole thing is like different for us because we never got to do stuff like this. We always just get on stage,
Yeah.
get sweaty, and up close and personal, and which is awesome. And I miss terribly, but I'm enjoying the kind of newness and the new territory. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I hear you. I mean, I feel the same way about like the first, well, our first couple albums for Mxpx, but also just the first couple episodes of my podcast, like back in 2013. I wouldn't want to listen to that. You couldn't pay me to listen to those just because they're painful for me. But I mean, at the time, you get through it, and people don't see it that way. So I think people are seeing it different than you're thinking and
Of
what's in
course.
your head. And I always try to remember that and push forward. So if I ever have a weird feeling, show or performance where I'm feeling like I'm a subpar,
Yeah.
I always try to switch my perspective to the audience and going, okay, let's just do it the best I can and
Yeah.
put on that good attitude. And
That's what they
it's all
see.
mental from
No
there.
one's, yeah, like you kind of just said it. No one is seeing what you're feeling
Hmm.
ever. We had a show. We had a show years ago. The first year of Taste of Chaos. We weren't on the tour, and we played one show in New Jersey. Our whole headline tour meshed with the Taste of Chaos lineup. And it was like Mike Hem and like Kill Switch, a bunch of bands, massive. It was at Asbury Park in Jersey. So we go
Right.
on, and there's like technical difficulties, and there's like, whatever it is, 3 or 4 thousand people at that place. Like they start chanting like bullshit and whatever. The crowd's getting restless, and I'm like, okay, like I'm getting antsy. I want to go and kill the lights and we go to play. And I'm like, cool, like save the day, start hyping people, whatever. So I go to like step up onto my drums, and I used to do this all the time. Jump up on the seat and the floor tom and like whatever. And this time I took like a little bit too much of a running start, and I just fell into my drums, and the intro's rolling. And
Oh shit.
I have like a floor tom that's connected to my belt that I just take and just throw across the stage, and I like rip up my cymbal to where it's playable. We go to start playing, I count the first song off, it's like 20 BPM fast. Go to start playing it and go to sing the first chorus, and the freaking monitor just blasts me in the face, feeds back in the face. So I take my microphone, I throw it, I'm like kicking, I'm just like essentially having like a temper tantrum on stage for the whole first song. And my band is like, is this it? Or like, are we breaking up? Like what's happening? He's like throwing drums. Like, what's happening right now? And I get off stage and I'm like mortified. I'm like, I can't believe I just did that in front of that many people, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And all I got for the rest of it, man, the show was so good, blah, blah, blah. Oh, such a six. That's the best I've ever seen you guys. All of this happened while the lights were still off. We were just going on stage. Our intro's rolling. Like, no one even saw it. So I had this thing in my brain the whole set where I was like, I have blown the biggest show we've played in like the last 6 months. I ruined it. Fuck this. And then no one even saw it. But me.
Wow.
No one saw it but me.
That's
That huge
insane.
catastrophe. Only it was just me.
All in your head.
Yeah, all in my head. So good.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge lesson. That's like,
Yeah.
I try to remember that when I perform for sure.
Absolutely. This takes me to another moment of this kind of same feeling where I got the privilege of playing with you guys in Goldfinger in the UK. And the whole scenario is John's like, you want to go to the UK and play some shows with us? And I'm like, absolutely, when? So he tells me the dates, and it's like the week before my daughter is born. And my wife's like, usually,
Yeah.
I would, it was like, no, but it was like, she's a good friend of John's too. So she's like, because it's John, I'll allow it. But like, you got to get back here and be, there and back, this and that. So we booked it, whatever. It's all good. This is like 2 months before. And then John sends me the song list, like, I don't know, a week before, maybe a week before the final like song list. And it's like 26 songs.
Yeah.
So I did everything I could to learn these songs, spent the entire flight to the UK listening to these songs over and over and over again. And then we got there, we had what? We had a sound check, really.
Yeah, sound check. No rehearsal, just sound check. Yeah.
And you especially were like, it's all good, man. We all did the same thing. Like the first Goldfinger show, like we all were just like, let's see how this goes. And I'm like, there's a cover. He like brought up a cover or something. And I was like, I don't know this song. And he's like, yeah, don't worry about it. I'll just follow me. It's going to be good. It was like Back to the Future. Like, you know what I mean? Like up tempo and B, watch me for the changes. It's like, okay. And it was funny because night one was like, I played, I was there. I played drums. The songs happened, but it was like still learning the set as we played show one, but the crowd fucking loved it. Like they were just
Exactly.
hyped to be at a Goldfinger show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
and the
energy
that they remember, oh, the drums happened and it moved the songs forward, and that was the reaction, So I hear what you're saying. Yeah, it's funny because I remember we were blindsided even by those covers, even though we had played them in the past, but they weren't on the list to learn, and it wasn't. That's very John Feldman. He's so busy. He's got so many things going on. He's like, oh, Goldfinger. I think I got it right. He'll like ask me, hey, do you have a set list? I'm like, sure. You want me to I'll make the set list if you want me to. It's going to be songs you don't want to play though.
Yeah.
But no, but it's always fun. But getting blindsided is it's part of, it's like a rite of passage in
Absolutely.
Goldfinger.
It's a learning experience, and like you could tell that like you and Phil had been through it many times in the process, because like you just like both of you knew when to like turn around and be like, and change. Like you guys both, it was like by this time it's like, oh, this has happened probably to you guys with a drummer or somebody new. Like you're like, okay, we gotta coax this dude through it. But
Yeah,
good coaches, very good coaches. It
it's
was
a
fun.
lot of work. I mean, do especially, well, just any position, just going into a tour with about a month or less notice. It's just hard to pack in that much practice.
Mm-hmm.
You're only going to learn so much, right? You're only going to fit so much in there, and a few things will squeak out naturally.
Yeah.
I still screw up Superman now and again. I'm like, how is this
How
happening?
is this one? I remember
I should know this.
John was like, "There's like," he's like, "Doesn't matter. The whole set doesn't matter. There's two things you need to know. You need to know the fills for Superman, and oh my god." So Matt Heafy from Trivium just rated us. He just rated us with 400 people. So that's fun.
What does that mean?
So if you're on Twitch, you can if you're on stream, you can raid another stream and bring all of your followers over to my
Oh,
stream.
that's rad.
So Matt just brought about
Trivia.
400 people over. Just saying a quick hello to all you Heafy streamers who are just joining us. 469 people. I'm Brandon. This is my stream. I'm on today with my good friend Mike Herrera of Mxpx, Goldfinger, and many other things. Say hi, Mike.
What's up, you guys? How you doing?
We're just having a chat. We're talking right now about when I went to the UK and played drums for Goldfinger. The experience that was, and just the fun of just learning new things and getting thrown into fun situations. But yeah, welcome all you Raiders. Thanks for hanging out. We're gonna continue our conversation. But
What's crazy about the show is it was like we could have fit 10 times as many people in there. It was just a tiny place. I had never been there before, that spot.
Neither had I.
Yeah, so okay, let's do this. So basically doing like a professional rock show in a kind of a tiny little pub.
Yes.
That's basically what it was.
Like pub. The dressing room was like next door. Like something that wasn't really. Matt just said that he's a huge fan of your work.
Oh, hey Matt. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Have you met Matt before? He's such a good dude.
No, I haven't. I'll have to hit you up.
He's one of the more talented humans I know. One of the more like disciplined humans I know. He's so incredibly about all the things that he does, like his singing, his guitar, his Twitch, like every little thing he does. It's like he's 1,000,000%. But he's also legit the nicest dude in any metal band I've ever met in my life.
If you want to do my podcast, I do a podcast, and we talk all routines, habits, music, business stuff, a lot of DIY, so I would love to.
I'll connect you too. I will absolutely connect you to you. You guys would have a great chat. But back to there's something else that happened on that tour that was hilarious to me. I don't know if you remember this. So we were at the main shows we were playing was Slam Dunk. Someone asked, "What's your podcast called?" It's just called the Mike Herrera Podcast. Yeah.
Yep.
They can find it everywhere. Mike Herrera Podcast.
That's right. Just go look on wherever you listen to podcasts.
Perfect. And if all you guys missed it earlier, any Mxpx fans that just joined, Mike and Mxpx are doing a live stream event tomorrow night. If you want to plug that again real fast, there's a lot more people in here.
Right. Yeah, it's 6:30 p.m. West Coast time. Mxpx.com for tickets. Tickets are $15, no service fees. You can watch it for a full week after as many times as you want. And it is live tomorrow night. So you can get in the chat room. You can put it up on your TV, the whole deal. And it's us playing live. We're playing a bunch of deep tracks. We'll play some favorites, but it's a mixed set, and it's a new set from what we've done in the past.
Genius. So this story is hilarious to me because this brings me back to when I was a kid, if I would have seen this. So we're going to go mainly play Slam Dunk, which was at the time 3 shows. So obviously people know you mainly from Mxpx. They know me from Atreyu. They know John from Goldfinger. So we took a golf cart from backstage to catering. and it's whoever the runner or whatever, and then John in the front seat, and then on the back of the golf cart it's me and you. You have an acoustic guitar, and we're literally going over songs, because like still this is show number 2, and we're like I'm figuring the set out still. So we're driving backstage, and there's this dude, and at Slam Dunk, like you can, like any festival in Europe or UK, you can camp. So these people are kind of like getting up in the morning and like, whatever, and they're kind of like brushing their teeth, and there's these 2 dudes that are kind of standing outside their van, and we drive by, and they're just like staring at the golf cart, and the guy like taps his friend, and he's like, what the fuck is this? And I'm thinking about it as a fan, being like, why is the singer of Goldfinger, the bass player singer of Mxpx, and the drummer of Atreyu on a golf cart? I'm not even playing. My band's not even playing the show. No one knows that I'm playing drums for Goldfinger. But it was hilarious to be like, this dude was just like, what the fuck? It was like he saw an alien. Do you remember
Yeah.
that?
I do remember that. Yeah, I remember we're like, oh, this must be weird.
At first, I'm like, what is this dude staring at? And I'm like, oh, think about what he's looking at as just like a music fan of any of these genres. Like, what's happening right now? It's like 10 in the morning. There's just, why are these dudes together? Obviously, it made sense to him later, but it's so funny to just bring those worlds together.
Yeah,
It's
that was
also,
fun, man.
oh, super fun. I enjoyed that so much. And I mean, by the last show, I like felt comfortable, and it was 100% fun. I like remembered the songs, but it was so much fun. It's funny, like you see how like the genres all go together. Like I had so many people from like my fans, my audience, that are like, oh my god, I love Goldfinger and Mxpx, and you're like, cool. Like you love Atreyu, but you also love Goldfinger and Mxpx. Like you wouldn't think that it would all blend together, but it does. I guess Warp Tour. We have Warp Tour to thank for that.
It does. Oh yeah, yeah. Warp Tour helps with that for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, getting to hang with a lot of your guys on Warp Tour was cool. You know, that tour, just being in that Sprinter van was a trip out.
Yeah.
But it was, at first you're like, oh, this is going to be tight. But then because everybody was so cool in the band, all you guys were fun to talk to, and you didn't have to like always be entertaining each other. You could be like, okay, I'm going to just chill and rest a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I mean, having that comfort like you would with your regular guys is really important, I think, traveling around.
Yeah, we
So
had.
that
I
was
mean, I remember we had a blast. One of the main drives, we had a blast. But we actually did your podcast, and we just kind of like hung out and drank beers, and like did like a 3-hour drive, and just bullshitted for the whole time. It super fun and comfortable. And I mean, obviously, like I've known John forever. I know Phil from when he was in Story of the Year, and like we've toured together. But I've never like spent van time or hotel time with any of you
yeah.
dudes. So I think the whole thing. It was definitely refreshing that it was like a relief that it was like, oh, this is comfortable. These dudes are chill and easy. This is awesome. This is gonna be a really cool week or whatever. How long we were there, but yeah, super fun.
That was good.
So I like to get into. I call this B SALL Presents What Else, because I love the idea of whether I have my guest is a musician or an artist or whatever they are, there's always those other things. I feel like you, much like myself, the other things are just things that people also know about already. But I feel like you're also the king of the what else. Like you, like I said earlier, like you're always working, you're always doing something. Like people obviously know you from Mxpx and Goldfinger and Tumble Down and everything like that. But like you also do other projects outside, like you have the wine and you have this and that and the other. Like let's talk a little bit and just kind of tell people about the what else that you'd like to share from the world of Mike Herrera, the empire of Mike Herrera.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing, is like I just like to get into what I like. So MXPX and punk rock is what I mostly like. But fashion, punk rock fashion. I have the things behind me. It's a little thing I started a while back called West Side Archive, and that's clothing and woodcuts, like kind of American traditional tattoo style woodcuts, and that's kind of just like something I do with a buddy of mine. It's not at all, like hardly even part-time, to be honest. Like, but I would say it's kind of a hobby. But I like to wear clothing that I'm just into, and so like it's just a way. Like having this is just a way to get more clothes to wear. And that's another thing that that's where the wine came from too, is actually it used to be a clothing line called Legionnaire.
Yeah.
And then after 10 years, we are like, it's doing okay, but you know, we're not, it's time to do something different. And so
Yeah.
me and Joe Moxley, my partner with Anchor Valley, we started this wine company, Anchor Valley Wine, and we got a couple new partners to actually make the wine and be the experts and all that.
Yeah.
And so that's located in Medford, Oregon. And they have a tasting room, you know, Anchor Valley Tasting Room in Jackson. It's actually Jacksonville, Oregon.
Oh,
So
amazing.
it's like a legit
I
tasting
didn't
room. You
know it
can
was
stop by,
that deep.
drive
Yeah.
through.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And they
That's
do a lot for their local community down there. Local businesses, they do a lot of help with that. It's been
amazing.
cool.
So you guys essentially, like you and your partners, wrangled up everyone and started that new thing. So you're essentially just a partner in that
Yeah.
in Anchor Valley.
Hmm.
That's awesome. And I've had it. It's lovely. I think I had the
Thank you.
Sauvignon Blanc or Sav Blanc or Pinot Grigio, one of the whites.
Yeah, the Pinot Gris, and then we had the Pinot Noir.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so you probably had the Pinot Gris. So
Yeah.
or yeah,
No,
yeah,
it
that
was the
one
Pinot Gris.
is
Delicious.
yeah, I love that one. Yeah,
Me and the wife
absolutely.
are huge wine drinkers, so we loved it. It's if you guys are wine drinkers, definitely check it out. I love that area of Oregon. It's so pretty. Like my mom she lives up in Washington, in Curtis, Washington. Just essentially, it's like in between like Portland and Seattle, like right in the middle of that kind of stretch of Oregon and Washington. But they have like a farm, but it's out in the middle of nowhere, beautiful as well. But this last well, in the summer, we went up there and then drove back, and we have some friends that have a house in Bend, which is Bend in that kind of same area. But I never have
Mhm.
spent time up there other than like Portland. It's so freaking beautiful,
Yeah,
and
it's nice. I
there's
mean,
so much wine too. I didn't realize there was so much wine up there also.
tons of wine. We went
Yeah,
all over before we started. Uh, Decided to go with our winemaker now, but we met a bunch of different wineries and different business people in the wine business,
mm-hmm.
and try to kind of like get our bearings on what we wanted to do and who we wanted to work with and partner
For
with.
sure,
So
for sure.
yeah, a lot of great wine down there. So
They're
yeah,
asking again what
Anchor
the white
Valley,
Anchor Valley wine. There were a couple people were saying, what is this wine company called again? Yeah,
AnchorValleyWine.com.
Anchor.
Yeah, you can do mail order, but depending on the state. But yeah,
Yeah, it's delightful. We've thought about that too. Obviously, like Atreyu's done. I mean, it was just a collaboration with a brewery, but we did like a beer, and we're looking to do more of that. But I love just like getting into the spirits world or the wine world. I think that's just fucking cool. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it's so outside the. I mean, it's not that outside the box if you're a drinker, but if you're just used to selling music and shirts, it's you know what I mean. It's outside the box for like
yeah.
an artist to do something different like that. I think that's super cool. Really cool.
I mean,
Definitely go
there's a
try
lot
it.
of yeah. I'm not part of this, but there's a lot of artists that are even like sponsored by weed companies and
Yeah.
stuff like that. That marijuana is legalized in most
Hmm.
of the states.
Yeah.
Uh, Even, I mean, that's the thing is like you could just you could do CBD. There's all these different products that are now sort of like trying to get artists to
To sign
endorse or
on
whatever. There's a million things to do. I just encourage anybody, as long as you're interested in what it is, don't just go for, oh, this sounds like an idea, that was offered to me.
for sure.
So
Yeah, I know we're friends with the guys in that band Hollywood Undead, and they have like it's called Dove and Grenade, I believe, and it's like a full on like weed operation. like
right,
their
right.
band invested in. I mean, because they all smoke weeds. I was like, wait, we should just do this, and it's like a full on thing. And I mean, there's a lot. I mean, you look at people. I mean, they've been doing it for a long time. You look at, like the dudes in Cypress Hill, like those dudes
Right.
have been
Yeah.
selling weed for like weed products for a long time.
See, in hip hop, it's been they've been collabing with other bigger brands, for a long time, and I think
Yeah.
just now that it's a different environment,
Hmm.
it's a little easier for punk bands and hardcore bands and
Yeah.
metal bands to get into these different products. But yeah, typically punk bands. Like, what would you want a punk band, a skateboard? I mean, I used to be
Yeah,
sponsored by Powell skateboards,
yeah,
but uh, the world has opened up so much. It's insane.
for sure. And I mean, it's funny
Whew.
too because now you think about it, like if you do smoke weed, to get sponsored by weed is hilarious. Like, oh yeah, just give me weed. Okay.
Yeah. I actually have a buddy, Fancy Plants, out in Oklahoma.
Uh-huh.
He has a weed company. So shout out to Fancy Plants.
That's awesome.
So
Thank you. I want to thank Annie real fast. Annie posted the Anchor Valley wine link in the chat. You guys can check that out. Also, what's the link? Annie, I'll have you posted again. What's the link for the clothing and wood cutting too? Just so people can have an easy
oh,
click.
should be westsidearchive.com.
Westsidearchive.com. Annie, if you would put that in the chat as well. But yeah, it's funny. We're always joking of like wanting to get like, can we get bank sponsorships? Like, can we get sponsored by Chase? Like, just give us X amount of dollars a month. Like, that's fine, right?
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
exclusively bank through Chase. We always joke with my wife, like, because I do a lot of music for like TV, film, like commercials and stuff. Over the past maybe like 6 years, I've been doing it, and every time we get like a bite or like a lead for a use, we just, our way of like willing it into existence is just up talking that thing until it happens. Like we had like a Toyota commercial like campaign a couple years ago, and it was like, like Toyota. I'm looking around on the road and like, I feel like Toyota's just the best looking cars, don't you think? And just like all the time in our natural conversations, like for me, it's a dependable, safe, and affordable. Like we'll just up talk whatever, like, or they get like I got like a Maker's Mark thing, and we're like, I love bourbon, but specifically, I think Maker's Mark really just takes the cake. Just willing it into your life. Like, you know what? They're the best, right? Wells Fargo, huh? Wells Fargo. I feel like the customer service is unmatched.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
good.
the whole opening accounts in without your permission thing. That's the
That's not
real.
good. That's not good. I haven't actually banked with Wells Fargo since high school.
F Wells Fargo
Yeah,
then.
yeah, yeah. But this is a punk
It's
stream. Fuck the banks.
we used to get actually this was Tumbledown. So Tumbledown was sort of when Mxpx was touring a little bit less. We were
Mhm.
chilling out for a couple years, but Tumbledown went pretty hardcore, and we were playing a lot of bars. We were in a van. We were sleeping on floors. I was like,
Mhm.
this is actually really Mxpx isn't punk at all. This is punk. So
We're not punk anymore.
we got these Taco Bell cards, like money cards, and they were $5 each. So we had
Yeah,
like a stack of them,
yeah,
which I was very grateful for. And so like I'd hand them out to the guys. All right, here we go. And we'd go through, and we'd be in the drive-through ordering just tons of stuff because it's all free.
yeah.
And then we're paying $5 at a time, and they have to enter each one at a time, and it took so long. We're like, this isn't worth it. This is
Yeah, this sucks. We did this. We had the same thing with Chipotle. Like our bass player forever was just like outwardly supportive of Chipotle, just like as people are when they love something. But
yeah.
he like got a contact himself from someone at like corporate, and they didn't sponsor us. They just sent him like stacks of burrito bucks. And it was funny because we had like hundreds and hundreds of these things, and then like these little like cardboard coins that were like chips and guac. So he would bring them on tour and like put them in his drawer, and just like anytime someone wanted one, he would just hand them out. But every single time we used one, it was an issue. Every time they'd be like, "What the fuck is this?" Like,
Oh my
let me
god,
talk to my
like this
manager. I
doesn't
don't even
exist.
know what this is. Yeah, yeah, a guac
Yeah,
coin. Like, what are you talking about? So it's the same thing where you're like, I'd almost rather just pay than like go through this whole ordeal to get a free
it's
burrito.
embarrassing. It's
Yeah, you're
embarrassing. You're
like,
like,
no, no,
but
I can pay. I just have this. Like, this is. Let's just forget I said anything. Here's my money.
well, a buddy of mine, Louis DiFabrizio from Gasoline Heart, for
Mhm.
those that know his band, but he used to be the manager of Subway in Lake somewhere in Orlando, Florida, Lake something, Florida.
Sandwich
But
artist.
yeah, he was a sandwich artist, but he was like the poster boy for Subway. And when he finally was started touring and stuff, and he took back in the day, they had these coupons, these like little stamps that you would put on, you'd collect, and you'd get a free sandwich. And he had just stacks of them that were already used. Well, he just gave out a bunch of these to a bunch of his friends. And at one point, he gave Mxpx a stack of these Subway,
so good,
just filled out cards, ready to go. Here you go.
How do you have these?
It's just like this is highly illegal. Don't tell them where you got them.
straight up. My friends did the same thing. They worked at McDonald's during the Monopoly, the first time the Monopoly game came.
Oh yeah.
So all of the cups had the Monopoly pieces, and all the fry containers had Monopoly pieces. Well, they would just like take like a bag, because the fry containers came in these huge like plastic like trash bags, almost like they were packed in a box but inside a big bag. And he would just like throw like, you know, a container of fry packages in his trunk, and he would just give them to us. So you just like take the things off and like, okay, cool, free ice cream. Like, so we just had all these like a jar in our room of all the like winter food items.
Yeah, that's amazing. Did you ever see the documentary?
No. The McDonald's
There's a documentary, McDonald's Millions, or Monopoly, about how it was totally frauded or defrauded.
Yeah.
And all the million dollar winners were picked out and chosen.
They didn't actually get
that doesn't spoil it at all if you want to watch it, but
yeah,
it is so insane how deep this goes. It was actually like a mob type thing. It became a mob thing. Yeah.
McDonald's Monopoly bucks.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Even something as wholesome as McDonald's just infiltrated by the.
Yeah, they had no idea.
It's so good. I love that. I'm gonna have to watch that. I'm gonna have to watch that.
Highly entertaining. I'm super picky about documentaries I watch, or really anything I watch. Highly entertaining.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I'm sure like when you had these Subway bucks, I'm assuming you were like touring and probably using them at different Subways around the country, maybe. When we got these McDonald's things, we were still in high school, so we just went to the same McDonald's. So there was like 6 of us that would go to these same McDonald's like multiple times a week, and these people are like, "What the fuck is going on? Like, how do you guys win so much? Like, I don't know. This makes no sense." They're like, "Hey, it's mafia. It's mafia. It's not me. I know some people who know some people."
Yeah.
So good. I love it, dude. Well, I talked to you earlier about, I mean, it was funny. We were joking on stream the other day. I had this insane freak accident where I destroyed myself and I can't use this hand. My streams so far this week have been doing contests to figure out things I can do with my wonky hand. But so far I've had to thread a needle, and I have to do my wife's makeup on stream tomorrow with my left hand. Nice. So that's going to be fun. So the whole thing was I usually just play guitar and sing, or just sing songs. And I was like, well, maybe if I can't do it, I'll just ask my friends to do it. So you said that you'd be so kind to play us a couple of songs so we can have some music in today's session. I think everyone would love that.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Let me undo my headphones.
You switch your thing up and I'll switch my thing.
I'm going to switch it. Yeah. Go to built-in microphone.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sweet. Thank you to all the Heafy people that are still here and all the new follows. I think I missed some of you guys when you first did it, but you came on a good day. Here's the one and only Mike Herrera doing some jams for us.
All right, you can hear it?
Yeah, I can hear you.
This is one of those songs that kind of we want to bring back someday. It's called "Waiting for the World to End," but we never used to do this back in the day.
Deep cut.
I think we might do this real soon. Drawing closer end of days, but much too late undone. Even as I turn this phrase,
and I now be gone. Mystery, mystery, tomorrow never comes. Today's the only day we have, now that day is done. We follow the world to end, searching for the signs, devastation right on time. We follow the world to end, ignoring what's been said, find your rivers running red. We talk to what we could, we lost too much blood. Lark star and I said love surprises, silence before sunrise, even when you can't use prices, too late to open your eyes. Mystery, mystery, tomorrow never comes. Today's the only day we have, now that day is done. We follow the world to end, searching for the signs, devastation right on time. We follow the world to end, ignoring what's been said, find new rivers running red. We talked to what he could, but we've lost too much blood.
Excellent, dude.
Yeah.
It's awesome, dude. It's so funny. Someone just said something that I've never realized till right now. Can you hear me still?
I can.
Okay. Someone just said that your voice sounds, well, I think his voice sounds like yours, as the order of things should go. But Jeremy McKinnon from A Day to Remember kind of sounds like you.
Oh, wow.
I would almost guarantee that there has to be some influence there.
Oh, I was in one of their videos, actually. I did
Really?
a cameo spot in one of their videos.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they're great. I've heard he's a fan. I've never actually met Jeremy, but I've heard he's a fan, and I've seen his Poking at Your Punk tattoo on the back of his head, right behind here. So it must be somewhat true, unless he just doesn't know what that means. But
oh, you were in that. You were in the All I Want video, huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Were you in that too?
No. I have only met a couple of those dudes like twice, and I remember we were on tour, and we were on tour with this band called Architects, and the singer of Architects was filming it, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just doing the thing for some Day to Remember video." Then I saw it, and then I was like, "Why didn't they ask me to be in the video?" No, it's awesome though. That's awesome.
That's right.
Yeah. You want to do one more for us?
Sure, I'll do one more.
Would
The
love
sound,
it.
you can hear everything.
It sounds great, and everyone is loving it.
All right, cool. This one's called Secret Weapon.
Such a trouble with authority. That's the way the growing up's supposed to be. But you can't let it get through. You gotta believe. That you are your own secret weapon. It's all up to you. So come out swinging. It's all up to you. Take back the stolen years, the truth will set you free. Don't lay down and let you down with fallacies. Whoa, whoa, love your feelings into love. You are your own secret weapon. It's all up to you. So come out swinging. It's all up to you. So call all your cars. Take to the streets. Raise up your voice and sing. You can't change the past, 'cause nothing will last. Embrace what tomorrow brings. You can't change the past. You can't change the past. You are your own secret weapon. It's all up to you. So come out swinging. It's all up to you. All up to you. That's your motivation for this Thursday.
Yes. I'll give it a one-hand clap. I got I'll clap them out. Dude, everyone is in the chat is just talking about one, how great your voice is, and two, like everyone's like, dude, this dude's just not missing a single note. You're a true professional, friend. You're a true professional. It's as if you've been doing this for a while, you know?
Yes.
I love it. I love
thanks
it.
so much. Too kind. Thanks,
Dude,
for
it's been so good having you on. Everyone that's watching, definitely go check out mxpx.com. Get tickets. Watch the show tomorrow. I most definitely am going to watch the show tomorrow. Check out all the links that we just posted. Annie, post all the links for Mike right now so people can just click and go and get involved in all the wonderful things that Mike does. It's been a pleasure, man. It's been a true pleasure. I love hanging with you. I love chatting with you, man. Always stoked on the opportunity.
Thank you so much. I'm almost glad that you got hurt, because then now we're talking.
Exactly. I need someone to play music for me. Yeah. So it's good, man.
Always great to hang out and talk to you. I appreciate it.
You as well, man. I appreciate it. We'll talk soon, all right?
All right, cool.
Have fun tomorrow.
Thanks, everyone.
See ya.
Cheers.
Bye. Such a legend, man. Such an absolute legend. God, what a good guy. So fucking talented. It's one of those dudes that you just like, you think like, oh, you're in a punk band. Like, the dude is so talented. It's crazy. And he does never age, Sarah. He never fucking ages. Appreciate all you guys. For all you guys that are still hanging from the Heafy raid, thank you so much for being here. Bunch of new followers, bunch of new subs. Thank you for gifting those subs. I think it was Lomian. I appreciate you guys. Well, now.
Oh yeah.
Jernza, thanks for the follow. I appreciate you. No, just one fish lamp. Just one fish lamp. Fish lamp and a dope ass this side. And a dope ass cam Rackham print. Look at that beauty. Look at that thing. So sick. I gotta put it on the wall, but it's just kind of leaning for the time being. Leaning Tower of Skull. Do you guys follow Cam? I'm gonna get Cam on the show as well. On a B SALL Presents. He's an old friend. We go way back. He did. I mean, we've just been friends for a long time. He did the art for the Hell or High Water album. He's just such a fantastic artist. But I'll definitely have him on the show as well because he has so much to talk about. Yeah, Mike was so fucking great. I'm so stoked to have had him.